that was hold on. Who do we got in here? Anybody around? Oh, shit. Hey, I'm back. That was my bad. How's everybody doing? I don't know what the heck happened. I was actually just sitting there talking to myself for a while. It's a little bit annoying. I know. I apologize. I mean, it's the price you pay to be out and about, I think. But hey, what can you do? The more time we get to spend together, the better. All right, so let me just give everybody a second to kind of come back in, and I'll make sure to. Woo! We're back. That was my bad, Brian. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Yep. We're still alive. We're alive and well. All right, cool. Good to see everybody. All right, let's try this again. Do you guys know? Can you let me know what chart I was on when I left off? David, you know what? I'm not familiar with the ATOM fork, but that's something I'll definitely look up for the next class. You guys know which ticker I was on, by the way? Hey, Bastian, yeah, let me just bring up the IOTA chart for you. We were just going over it on the other one, but let me get that for you, buddy. Hold on. All right. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Dun, 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 dun. So let's take a look. So IOTA looks like a huge turd, by the way. Just to give you the heads up. Out of all the cryptos, this is the one that kind of it's going to need a piece of news to really get it going. I just don't see how. I don't see where we can really enter this thing for a run. Like, I just don't see it, right? Because of the way it's been acting. It's just nasty. And so I think there's going to be more constructive types of charts that we can get into that are going to be a lot better. Like some of the other ones we've been talking about, like EOS, I think has got a lot more potential because its chart is just stronger, right? This one's actually trending versus, what we have with IOTA is a non-trending environment. If anything, it's downtrending, right? And so that's not going to do us any good. So you guys see that? Like when you want a hot ticker, right? We want to pick something that's got explosion that can move clean. And so when you're stuck under a lot of supply and the range is not tight enough, you just don't have the ability to really go in and trade like without getting the rug pulled on you. So I think IOTA is going to need a little bit of work over the next coming weeks to longer so that, it's going to need more time to heal. It just had this big drop from 4 to 2. So when you have a big drop like that real quick, you need some time to just heal out and then restart. But look, even if it heals and starts to kind of work itself out, to repair this chart is going to take months probably. Not that that's nothing wrong with that, right? All stocks charts at some point take months to recharge. In the meantime, right, there's hotter plays out there like this Loomies that looks ready to go now, right? Where you have like a really hot pattern, you have the volume, accumulation, everything is just working in your favor the way that you need. And it's going to be cleaner. And so I think that's where you're going to have a lot more importance, and you're going to have a lot more edge. Oh yeah, he does amazing impersonations, man. I got to get him on somehow. Maybe next week we'll get him on. You got to go follow him on YouTube. It's hilarious. What are some tickers? Give me some ideas of what are you guys watching next week? Let's take a look at some stuff. Everybody's quiet today. I wonder if my thing went out again. Dun, 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 dun. No, I'm still live, baby. Yeah, we could talk about a little bit. RDD, RCN. Got it. Hold on here one sec. RDD, RCN. Let me grab it. Cool. Yeah. Ooh, the red coin, huh? You know, this one looks all right. Like it's had a nice run, but this thing was up 1,000% too, right? And so people come all the way down, and you know, I think it's going to need a little bit more work. It just doesn't have a pattern now. It's going to have to construct itself into something. It's not necessarily like hugely bearish, but it's not really anything where you could say, okay, it's hugely bullish. Beyond that, it's just dropped a lot. So I think you want to sometimes, I'd keep an eye on it and see like what else kind of comes about on it. This one's kind of interesting. You know, if it takes out these highs over here, you know, this one is a little bit sloppy. You could tell it doesn't do as much volume, hence why like it spikes and fades a lot. So it really lacks some liquidity. But, you know, overall, these are kind of its ICO highs right here that it's kind of testing. So if you could kind of break over those and hold over it, like have a day where it closes over there, I think you're going to have some nice, you could have some nice upside on this one. So that one looks pretty good, actually. There we go. I hit this ETH on this dip down here, so I got to sell some close to DT up here. I wanted to try to get 1040s, but it looks like it's kind of turning its way back. Dun, 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 dun. What else? What else? What else? Give me a little rundown. What else? Yeah, it could be undervalued. You know what? And that's just not my specialty in terms of checking out what the values on these things are, because I'm just not a techno buff. But, you know, definitely that could help. TRX. Okay. You love that Tron. Yeah, I see it because this one's got a lot tighter range recently. So, you know, you may bust out of this. I mean, it's a loosey goo. It's a tight range right here. It's just a matter of like a couple cents, right? So this one, it might be something for sure. I don't play these little guys that well, but I mean, I see it. My problem with these little guys, Unicoin Gold does this too, where it spikes up, then it just fucking fades off, and it spikes up and it fades off. I've been, you know, Unicoin does this too, like where it'll just have this huge spike, and then it just doesn't even react well to technical analysis, just dies, and then boop, it spikes up, and then it just kind of dies. And so I'm always kind of wary of some of these smaller coins. But if you're more of like a swing guy, you're a little swinger, then some of those can really play out, I think. What else? What else? What else? No, I didn't hear about 50 Cent. What happened? Let me check. Oh, it did come. There it is. Verticium or Verge? Vertcoin? Oh, got a V chain. Then I gotcha. Thanks, guys. Yeah, this one does have a lot of momentum. Holy crap. This is like more than many thousands of percent gain. Man, why can't I catch one of these bad boys? Right? So this thing looks pretty good. Look, as long as it holds its 9, they may just keep on its trend for a little bit. But for something like this, it's a little bit long in the tooth. You may get some quick bounces at this point. But, the meat of the move is probably over till it has a really nasty shakeout. You want to see, for it to really continue, like a big, ugly spike down and then, kind of a rebound will shake some people out. Cool. 700 Bitcoins is a lot. XVG, huh? People love XVG. Let me see. I've been watching the USDT ticker of XVG because it's on only because it's on Bittrex and USDT. So I've been following it just because it's in USDT. So this one, I can't really decipher the pattern on it beyond that it's just a handful of pennies. So I'd probably, for me, this one's a pass. Nebel. All right, all right, all right, all right. Nebel. It's a Nebel. Ooh, Binance. It's on Binance too. Man, yeah, this one did have the big pump for a couple days. It's hard to really decipher where it's, where it kind of forms itself. It spikes out of the same type of deal. These little turds just frigging spike out of nowhere. So most likely some chat room just pumping the shit out of it, or somebody else pumping in. Then they just die, right? It gets sold off. That's what I don't like about these things. But when you're on the right side of them, it's awesome, So that's always the good thing. If you catch it on the right time, but if you're trying to buy the first pullbacks or something, they just never work. In technical analysis in stocks and even in the cryptos we trade, it's if you get a breakout like this, that first pullback, if you start to round, you should come back and attack highs, right? Kind of like my entry on, this Ethereum Lord. It was, similar. It had this breakout, which I missed. And then, it pulled back to its MAs and it held. And then I got it at 117 or 118, right? To play back into the highs. But you want to see that follow through. These things just don't do that. Oh man, my little BNB starting to act like a little chode. Hey, Cocos, how you doing? So, guys, that's a good question. So, Cocos is asking me, do you recommend going full size when the pattern's right and scale out, or do you go small and add as the pattern works? Depends on if you're a day trader or swing trader, but I find that if I have the right entry and it's a perfect entry, then I want to go in full size. I only like to go in half size or something like that if my pattern is, if my timing is a little bit off and it's a longer trade, then I scale into it because, I'm looking at, a much longer time frame. So I don't mind if I'm a few pennies off here or there, but like if it's a quick trade, then it's got to work right away. Like if it's a day trade or a short-term trade, right? Those type of things got to work right away. I know. The problem with my Indiana Jones hat is that it's so poofy, you can't really fit it in your suitcase. I mean, I have to fit all these computers. And so I'm going from cold weather to warm weather, back to cold weather, back to warm weather before I get home. So I have to have a full suite of long pants and short pants, long sleeves and short sleeves. It's really a bummer. I just want to wear my tank tops all the time. Hey, Jason, what's going on, baby? Anybody else got any questions before we would take off for the day? And for the rest of you guys, I'll see you in boot camp class tonight. I'm running like 4 webinars today. Yeah, prone tips. It could have one over there. Yeah, you just got to hold that level. The next boot camp, Mike, will be March 13th. I'm over in Mexico, Flavio. Hey, what's the ticker on Bitcoin Diamond? I'm not familiar. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't have a ticker on that one yet. Thanks, Coco. You let me know when you're in town. Oh, BCD. I got you. Hold on. BCD. I got you, bro beans. Bro Sif. Bro mama. Bro tundra. I understand why Bitcoin has to have so many damn forks. I don't trust these things like BCD when they just have the one-day spikes. It's kind of like Bitcoin Cash. Like it might take months to let this thing percolate. You can see the tails on this thing indicate that at any time it spikes, there's some heavy sellers in this thing. So you may have to let this thing marinate and then start the curl for the girls and work its way higher and then, kind of chase it back when it has momentum. No Australia for me, man. That's way too far. The time difference is awful. I'd love to go. My business partner's from Australia. Like I've always wanted to go. Not to mention all these hot little mamas I follow on Instagram. They're all Australian. They're always like, I'm working out my tushy today and eating a brekkie, a Vegemite, while I ride around in my Wrangler and look for rattlesnakes. And you're like, fuck, that sounds really cool. That's really hot. But the time difference. Just having a little brekkie. Plus, I mean, Crocodile Dundee was like one of my favorite movies, right? Hey, mate. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Right. What line's ever better in history? That's not a knife. That's a knife. Yeah, gold was a turd, but gold is actually a lot better right now. At the time, it was a turd, but every turd has its day. Every hungry man Sometimes get so hungry that a turd becomes delicious. Sometimes across the desert, you have to drink your own pee. Salt, huh? Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Is salt coin? What pair do you look at for that? Salt. Okay. Its chart's a little murky at the moment, but I'll put this on my watch list. Thank you. Ooh, I've been watching THC also, but you know what? These little pot things are dead for now in the U.S. The Canadian pot coins seem to be really still hanging, but it looks like THC finally had a little remount today. So let's take a look at its chart real quick. Now I got to figure out, Crypto Shredder, how you have like your face in the corner and then you're always on your charts. I'm like just going back and forth between my charts and my face. That does it's remounted. This could have something, dude. You know what? And these make better swings. I mean, I've tried day trading THC a few times. I lost every time because it pops and then just dies. But you know, on a swing term basis, it definitely has a little bit more potential. Let me see. I've got a list of some of these other pot coins too, because I felt so guilty that I missed like the first run. So the pot coin itself, this pot BTC is a turd. Cannabis. You know, this one may bounce off the 50. If it remounts over the 9, that could be decent. Right? You see, it's kind of, this is more of a Taylor play, though, because it's like a straightforward MPF. And then it's sandwiched between a couple MAs. And then Dope BC. Dope BTC is really tight, too. You know, both of those could be like little swingers. Check that. Man, both those look pretty good for swingers. If you're looking for something a little bit speculative, then those could be hot. Hey, I'm going to check that out and do some research on it, Luke. I appreciate it. Coco's question is, do you always wait 3 5-minute candles before you take an ORB, or do you sometimes go in on the first 5-minute candle? I sometimes could go in at the first 5 minutes if I was watching like 1-minute charts. For sure. For sure. For sure. All right, folks, I've got to run because I got class in another hour and I got to get some things going. I will be back on in full force next Wednesday at my desktop, and we're going to be talking about some fun stuff. I'm going to have a specific webinar in place. Cool. Rock and roll. My friends, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been fast. I will see everybody next week.